Why is it not getting any better? Why is that it's a delay? Can I cry?
Half a day PIKA fams, and welcome back to the Bank of Guam Heat Seat for Season 3, Episode 1 of That's Hot Par, Mariana's Spiciest Talk Show. I'm your host, Roque Alcantara Jr., and we have a special guest in the Heat Seat tonight. But before we get to her, we'd like to give a big shout out to our homie, Eugene Castro. Check him out, follow him on Instagram, follow his band Black Cinderella. Check him out, he has gigs going on all over the island. Thank you, Gene. So here we go. Man, one of the busiest ladies you all might know. She's former Miss Guam Earth 2012, mother of 3, award-winning filmmaker, recent flag football champion, producer, island hopper, and a proud wife to a fighter. Everybody, welcome to the Heat Seat, Sarah Filush Camacho.
Off a day.
Off a day.
Hey.
Thank you so much. Right on, Mrs. Crank. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
Nervous.
Nervous?
I am nervous, but I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Well, welcome. Welcome to the Bank of Guam Heat Seat. Thank you for kicking off Season 3 with us. It's a pleasure. We have to know, man, how does this bona fide island girl take the PIKA?
You know what? I have a pretty good tolerance.
Yeah.
As of late, though, after I had my 3rd kid, it's kind of went down, but I'm a little nervous now. I know we're going to try and get it back up there.
Okay, right on. Excited. Well, you might be prepared for this show than most because I know you know somebody who's been through this Heat Seat before, some insider. So has Crank gave you a little bit tips on how to handle yourself tonight?
Not really Frank. It was more so Melker. Melker was, he's very detailed with, his experience.
This show is a total setup.
Right. Oh,
he gave me the lowdown, some pointers.
So it's crazy how you mentioned Melker because he opened up Season 2.
Oh, yeah?
And here you are opening up Season 3. So super dope how he was able to give you the tips.
Right off the bat, right now?
First wing.
Okay.
First wing by our homie, Lenny Farron.
Lenny.
At the Denancy Drizzle. He has this calamansi Guam-made hot sauce. Shout out. We want to give a big shout out to our corporate sponsors, Bank of Guam. Thank you guys so much. Bank of Nefit, the People's Bank, for sponsoring our show. Ready? Now we're ready.
Oh, shit.
Sorry,
right.
keep in suspense there. Wait, hold on.
Oh, wait.
Okay, we're ready. Cheers.
Okay,
First
cheers.
wing. Here we go.
All right, Lenny. Okay.
And you already know this is all local grown.
Oh.
Calamansi's grown here. Donnie is grown here. Support your local farmers.
Oh, I really like the calamansi.
All right, man, let's start all the way from the beginning, Sarah. Where were you born, raised, and what schools did you go to?
Okay. Born and raised in Guam. I went to Harvest when I was in kinder, and then a little bit at Gannett Heights Elementary. My mom was a teacher there. And then I was homeschooled because my mom's a teacher. And then I went to Southern Christian Academy, which no longer exists.
Right.
And then I graduated from Harvest.
Okay, what year? You want to shout out to your class?
Yes, class of 06.
06, here you go, Harvest. A lot of Guam got introduced to Sarah Filush in 2012 after winning Miss Guam Earth, right? The 5th ever to be crowned that title, by the way. Can you take us back to 2012 and winning that pageant and what it was like?
I think I was talking, I know for a fact I was talking to Frank at that time.
Okay.
But he was the one that was encouraging me. He's like, why don't you just try it out, With everything that I do, I kind of have like this level of pride. Like I have to absolutely do my best. Like I cannot have any kind of moment where my mom is like, you could have done a little better there.
Right.
So I always try and do my absolute best. And so I gave it my all, and I wanted to stay true to who I was. Everything from how I walked, what I wore, what my costume was. And I guess, the people of Guam liked it. And then I was crowned 2012.
And then what was that overall experience like traveling and...
I grew a lot through that experience of working with GVB. It was so much fun.
Right.
But yeah, it was great. One of the best experiences of my life.
Well, do you feel that winning that pageant opened up a lot of doors for you and things you're currently involved in?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because that crown kind of gave me a platform, a voice louder than I've ever had.
Definitely.
So I had this opportunity to do things in my community. And after my reign was over, Frank coincidentally moved back to Guam, and so we were just together doing things within the community. And because I had done so much with GBB and with my title, I kind of already had this reputation, and I just kind of been continuing that path since.
Right on, Sarah. We're gonna move on to our second wing. It's by our friend, the Sali Sauce. Follow them, Sali.sauce. Shout out to Chef Dylan Saad. Guys are doing awesome things, preserving the Sali. Hit them up, follow them on Instagram. But yeah, big shout out to our drink sponsors.
Oh yes.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers.
Current Guam, thank you. Jojo, thank you so much. Hit them up. Yes, thank you. Now we're ready.
Yes. Can we take another shot, or I'm just joking?
Let's go take a shot of the Sali sauce.
Okay, let's.
I know he's making several different kinds too.
Whoa.
Right? Flavor.
That is a really good flavor. So do you know why they call it the Sali?
I'm pretty sure he's using Doni Sali in this.
Do you know what Doni Sali is?
It's a pepper that is grown from the bird. No, the Sali bird.
The Sali bird.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right? Like the bird eats the pepper and then
or is it poop out?
Poop out, right?
Yeah,
I think
it grows. You're eating
I could be wrong, but I think
some Sali poop right now.
Yeah, no, it's delicious. You guys gotta try it. It's amazing.
So Sarah, you're an award-winning filmmaker with films such as Kids from Chook, Chew, Blue Island, Beat the Beetle. What got you into wanting to make films?
Flashback in 2015, you know, I had done the pageant already. Our roommate at the time, his name's Michael Marriott. He's an amazing filmmaker.
Shout out, Michael.
Shout out to Michael Marriott. That year, Frank and I were talking about the rhino beetles and the coconut trees, right? Like, how come no one's talking about these rhino beetles? What's going on with our trees? It's you drive around the island, it's deteriorating.
Yeah.
At that time, I was like, man, I think it would be cool if we made some kind of like PSA. And at that time, you know, I knew all the pageant queens, and I know how this whole like social media thing works. You get hot chicks, and it's an easy way to like put a message out there, right? So then like bang on my roommate's door, like, Mike, let's do a PSA together. Can you shoot me and like a whole bunch of pageant queens, and we'll do like something about the rhino beetle? And he's like, yeah, shoot. You know, I came up with the script and the inspiration, and we filmed all these things. We had so much fun. I had Lori, who was Miss International, Sky Baker, who was Miss Earth, Nicole Pierce, who was one of the Miss Earths as well.
Right.
Mike at the time, though, he was busy doing a lot of other things. You know, he had his girlfriend, and I wasn't paying him, so I can't expect him to be sitting down like on his computer for hours. I was actually preparing to submit it to GIF, the Guam International Film Festival, which is over at UOG. Time was ticking, and I'm like, I need to get this thing done. So Frank, fortunately, knows how to use, you know, Premiere Editor. And so he taught me like the basics, and I sat there for like 2 days, banged it out, put together the film, and that was my first ever experience editing, storytelling, putting something together. And I remember like submitting it and being like, oh my God, this is horrible. No one's gonna like this. You know, Dawn is gonna be like, what the heck is Sarah thinking? Yeah, Dawn Munya. And so like I submitted it, and it ended up getting really good reviews. It was nominated for, I can't even remember what it was nominated for, but it was nominated. Let me just...
Best of the Marianas.
Best of the Marianas, and reverse back to the actual presentation of the film. I remember sitting there like holding Frank's hand really tight, like, here it is, like they're gonna play my video, my movie, and like it was so surreal sitting there and watching everyone just in tune with what I was trying to put out, laughing when they were supposed to laugh, getting like teary-eyed in the emotional parts, and I was like, whoa.
Jeez.
Whoa, this is pretty cool, you know? And then afterwards, there was the presenters, you know, Don and a few other people, his brother, and JD or Yardi. And so they were coming up and like talking about the films, and other people were coming up talking about the films and talking about Beat the Beetle, and they're like, man, Sarah, like, don't ever stop, and we need to do something about this, and the beetles and the coconut trees. And I'm like, this is exactly why I did this. And it was like, man, maybe I have something. I gotta continue this path. And that was just kind of like the beginning, and it really just was fate, right? Like if Mike wasn't busy or whatever he was doing, I wouldn't have been able to do what I'm doing now. So that was the beginning of Sasa production.
Right on, moving on to our third wing. A staple on our show, Hari BJ.
Oh, yeah.
Really good to Nancy. Hit them up. They're at on a Dara store.
Oh.
Follow them on Instagram, right? Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to our episode sponsor, our small local business. Are you familiar with Frank's sharpening? Crank sharpening services? Are you familiar?
Sharpening.
Oh, I stand corrected.
Sorry.
Sharpening. So you do know. So you heard. You heard.
A little bit.
Right on. So they're sponsoring this episode. I want to give a big shout out to Crank. Thank you so much for believing in us and being a part of this journey with us, man. Thank you.
Use this
Thank you.
What about your wife? You don't even,
There you go. All of them. Follow.
I'll take my
Thank you, Craig. Thank you.
Don't need it.
Cheers. Here
Cheers.
we go.
Don't you just fall on the table?
5-second rule.
Okay.
Still good.
No.
So, Sarah, are you currently working on any films?
At the moment, I just completed a film with West Care on underage substance abuse prevention.
There you go. You heard it here.
Yeah,
Check it out.
stay tuned. It's going to be showcasing at the theaters.
Right on.
I think GPO.
Okay.
Could be wrong, but one of those.
So you're a camp counselor at Hutsa Kids.
I am.
Right? Which teaches kids traditional hut building. Mm-hmm. How did you get involved with that project?
Frank came home one day and was talking about these grants that were being offered from GITA.
Okay.
And he was talking about all these super cool things that he wanted to do with them if he, gets granted. And so they're all for kids. Sometime last year, we went to Rhoda. And Guelu, Ben Rosario, he's a good friend of ours. He was building huts with the kids in Rhoda. Was talking to Frank, like, man, this is so cool. Like, Guam needs this so bad. And then he was talking about, I'm going to build these huts from different time periods of Chamorro culture or Chamorro history, right? And so when he was talking about his after-school programs, I was like, man, I think I know a guy. I think I know a program. Like, how cool would it be if we flew Guelu out here to host a hut building camp with these kids? And of course, for these kids too, but I want to learn how to build a hut.
So what was the most rewarding part of being involved in that project?
I think the most rewarding part is seeing the kids, of course, get really excited, and the parents.
Right.
The most surreal moments is watching the kids with Pat Azuzu, who was here for a little bit, and Guelu, and they're just having fun. They're climbing the huts, and we're doing a little bit of dangerous things, but they're enjoying it, and the parents are so down, right? So you got these kids climbing the huts and using saws and stuff, and they're so into it. It's so cool because we're sitting there, we're teaching each other how to weave, and we're just talking stories. And I'm like, why do I feel like we're channeling our ancestors?
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say.
We're
feels like
building a village.
kids are playing around outside.
Yeah.
Women are getting together and
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah, and the guys are doing the guy things.
Yeah, right.
And we're just,
sharpening knives and everything, no? Moving on to our fourth wing
All right.
by our homie, Derek Cruz.
Okay.
Follow them, Supreme. This is their Mas
Supreme.
PIKA. Yeah, Supreme. Yes, exactly.
That is drenched.
It's
Where's
drenched, yeah.
Where's that napkin? Holy that.
Big shout out to our wing sponsor, man, Market Deli.
Market
Danny,
Deli. Woo!
Rob, Fluffy. Thank you guys so much. Oh.
It's a little hot, Bar.
You think so, Bar?
Getting there.
Right on.
That is really good, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because it's super drenched, but that is really
Somebody in the crowd is saying one more bite.
okay. Okay.
So, Sarah, most recently, you've taken on flag football. We've seen your highlights, and we know you're a force on the field.
Hey.
People might be surprised to find out that you're a mama of 3. Was flag football first for you, and how was your overall experience with that?
It was all new to me. I just jumped into it. I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna try it out. So I was in really good shape, and I didn't know what to expect. And my husband was like, oh, flag football, that's not really a sport. And he's already talking shit to me, and I'm like, whatever, I get to run,
Right. Is that why he doesn't watch sometimes?
Yeah, right? Too busy doing other things.
So how was the overall experience thus far? Are you gonna do it again?
Okay, so I play basketball, right? I can't say, okay, I am really fast.
Okay.
Sometimes the ball doesn't go as fast as my body, but with flag football, that's a different story. I just hold the ball and I can run. And since I was a kid, since as far as I can remember, no one can beat me
Right.
in anything.
Running.
I'm always the fastest, right?
So
So,
dope.
I'm like, man, that'd be so cool if I was like the fastest one in flag football. And then lo and behold, like no one could freaking catch me, right? So it makes me look like a badass because like I just and like, you know, I go, right?
Right.
So I know your production crew here, they're my videographers as well. So I hope you pulled up some badass highlights
About
of
it.
me.
Yeah.
About it productions,
Right
but
on.
no, it's been so much fun, and the team, it's my
Right.
team, the
Everybody doing
stunner.
it
Shout out
together.
to my stunner
Shout out
girls.
to the stunners.
It's like family for real. Everyone is, if you're a part of the team, you're family, and they have your back and they support you. And if you're down, they'll do everything to lift you up, right?
Right.
So if I come in and I like mess up or whatever, they're like, no, you know, they hype you up and they're hyping and we're hyping each other up. And I'm like, yeah, you know, so it's like always hype. And then, you know, it just so happened that, you know, I did pretty well in that sport. So now I can say that flag football is like my sport now. Like, and right now it's coming up as tackle and they're trying to convince me.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna ask you, is that something we're gonna see you just jump into as well, into pads and?
We'll see. I told him last night because I was with my team last night. Two of my teammates got married, TJ and
nice.
Mel. Congrats
Good.
again.
Congrats.
And my coach was like, hey, so are you going to show up or what? You know, like calling me out. So I think I'm going to go to practice and fill it out because I'm fast, but I'm like the sloppiest faller. Like I fall like terribly. So I'm kind of nervous about someone tackling me and
Yeah.
just like breaking my tongue. But
Moving on to our fifth wing by our friends at the Red Rice. You familiar? Have you been?
Nice.
Yeah, you've been there, right?
Yeah.
Vegas, shout out Bobat Christian.
Yes.
They brought this sauce as they were just here not too long ago.
Yeah.
And they're blessing us again with the PIKA Basco from Las Vegas. There we go. Woo, that color. I remember this color. You're not nervous at all.
No.
Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing? Whoa, that is like Pico Basco. What a freaking name.
Or definitely is PIKA.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Okay, bar.
Water. It's okay, bar.
Stop laughing.
Right on, Sarah, we're moving on to a segment of our show called Locals Only. Some questions we're going to ask you that locals should know, such as yourself, right? That PIKA Basco, though. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the stop bar.
Not bad, right, for fifth wing? The
You know
halfway
what?
point?
Milker did say, by the fifth wing, your tongue is going to be numb, and I'm feeling that numbness. Yeah.
You know Uncle Mel doesn't lie. So we have to ask, Sarah, does Crank run his posts by you before posting on socials, and have you ever shot one down?
Are you talking about like the most beautiful photos of me that he posts?
I mean, that could be you.
Why are you laughing? No, actually never, ever.
Never. So you just get mad at it later after it's
No.
already at like 1,000 views and stuff.
Yeah, basically. But you know, honestly, I really don't give a shit.
Right on.
Yeah. So like when he posts, I'm like, wow, babe, out of all of those photos, all of the best, you know, and he's a photographer, he takes these great photos, it's like, you know, glasses, messy hair. Oh yeah, the Fafa hair, remember?
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that, yeah. Nice.
I waxed it before I got
You
here.
did?
I did.
Dang,
I don't know why I felt like you were gonna
Man.
ask me that question, but you know.
We had like a segment of the show where you have to raise your hands and get something over your head, but I guess that ain't happening tonight.
No, it's probably still red with the wax that I did. No, it was bad.
We'll save it for another time. So how about, does the nickname Sasa have a funny origin story as Crank?
When I was little, I couldn't say Sarah Filush. I said Sasa Fish. And so my dad would call me Sasa Fish. That was my nickname when I was a kid. When I went to college, my girlfriends thought that was so cute, so then they just started calling me Sasa, and then now it's the Sassinator.
Yeah, Sassinator. Oh, on the Stunners.
No, on my basketball team. I'm Crank.
Okay.
I'm actually Crank. They call me Crank. My name on my uniform is Crank.
Crank. Wow.
And then on my basketball team, I'm the Sassinator.
Sassinator. That's so cool. Sarah passed the halfway mark. We're on the sixth wing. My homie, Chuck Flores, staple on the show, the Denancy Dust. I don't know if you ever heard of it. I know Crank has. Cheers.
It's gonna, don't.
Ooh,
it's
watch out.
frozen.
Dust.
It's gonna-
You're all
your
getting
eyes.
dust in the ear. Flavor.
It's like cheese.
Like powder, like garlic powder, maybe.
Why do I feel like that would be great on popcorn? I feel it now.
Nancy just. Woo. Yeah.
Stop laughing.
Here we go, Sarah. Paka, Pansonwa, or Mawar, which one was worse for you? As the Nancy does, I know. Do you recall the other two typhoons?
I do remember them,
Yeah.
but they were fun as a kid.
Now you're the adult and you're cleaning everything.
It's different when you're an adult and you have kids.
So Marwar, by far. But not having power for like months. Was
Why
it
are you
hard for
still
you?
talking right now?
One more bite? No? Okay.
I think, well, hang on. It's a toss-up. Between Pangsangwa and Mawar.
And Marwar.
Yeah. Bar.
There you go, par.
It's getting worse. Why is it not getting any better?
More stressful for Sasa. Premiere week for your film or fight week for Crank?
Fight week.
Fight week.
By far. Because it's always a weight cut that freaks me out. Because like there's been moments where he could die,
Yeah.
and he almost did. And that's always been his biggest issue.
Right. So that's a lot of
It's that
stress.
real right now.
There we go, Sarah. Moving on. Seventh wing of the evening by our homie again, Derek. For real. Derek Cruz from Supreme. This is the Ghostville. I don't know if you're familiar. It's a new branding. Usually it would have the ghost on it, but now this is their branding. Check them out. They are sold at Payless. Follow them on social media. I'm excited for that one.
Okay.
Hopefully, because it's a different label, I have a different kick too, but we can do one more on the other side.
No, it's not. No, it's right there.
That's good.
Okay.
Sarah, do you believe in gas station loyalty? And if you do, which one? Which one are you running with? Were you loyal to one gas station?
76.
76.
76, always been a huge supporter of Frank the Crank
Right on.
and a lot of great things in the community. I'm sure all do, but you know, Frank the Crank is, that's mine.
Right on, right on.
When you support Frank the Crank, you support me and my kids, so,
Straight up. Shout
and
out.
the dream,
Hell yeah.
and Guam, so.
Come on.
76, shout out.
Right on. Marble Cave or the Grotto Inside Man?
And Marble Cave.
Okay.
No, Marble Cave. I haven't been there since
Since we're kids.
before the
Pandemic.
catastrophe,
Oh,
the runoff.
I know they did some cleaning and everything.
Oh, but Marble
So-
Cave is, I mean, no,
As a kid, yeah, we remember
Marble
Marble Cave
Cave.
being super clean.
I meant to say the grotto.
Yeah.
Can I cry?
Why are you crying? So does the grotto bring back like memories that makes you just want to?
Oh, the grotto brings, but hang on.
Do you miss it so much and all your friends?
I have amazing memories there. That's where Frank took me when I first met him. Those times. Amazing. Stop laughing at me. Oh,
Oh,
grotto.
the grotto, right?
Grotto.
On.
Marble Cave's badass, but the grotto is like magic.
Right on, Sarah. Let's move on. Let's move on to the eighth wing of the evening by our homie Ron at Ron's Diner. Follow them. They are in Ningilao, right by the EOG Fieldhouse.
Keep going. Let's just go get it open.
This one's Stacey. This is their house, the Nancy, at Ron's Diner. Flavor.
It's amazing. It's amazing flavor.
Right. So Sarah, we're gonna jump into a segment of our show called PIKA Pics. I'm gonna show you some pictures and videos of your social media, and you just tell us more about it.
Do
You
I
ready?
see it?
We see it right here.
Okay. Oh, hey.
Is that badass? Was that before flag football?
Might have been before,
No.
possibly.
That assassinator?
That's assassination.
That's
there.
her. Shout out to
Coach Ray.
Coach Ray Chargaloff.
Miss you so much. Amazing, amazing
Right on.
coach. It's
He
amazing.
brought the assassinator out of you.
He did.
He sure
He did. Unleash.
Right on. How about this one right here? That moment when.
So epic too.
It's a nice meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only,
Right in front of
the
him.
only reason he would not be able to live.
Yes, the only
Yeah.
excuse.
Exactly.
Only good
You
excuse.
see Pampers there? Yeah, there is Pampers
Yeah, yeah,
there, right?
Yeah, it's an epic catch. It was like over the shoulder too, you know?
We scored there, right?
I scored, yeah. That was a good one.
Well, I'm glad they were able to catch you and Crank.
I know.
the
Thanks
same
about it.
picture.
Thanks about it, Productions.
Second to the last wing of the evening. Chef Brendan McCaughey, my homie, 6 for 6. Hit them up. They're smoking meat.
Ooh.
They're making all kinds of Denancy. This is kombucha.
Ooh.
But he also does a pumpkin as well.
What?
Hit him up. Flavor.
Smoked.
Smoke. Like I say, smoking meat. Out of
I'm
his,
not licking that. I'm not. It's not happening.
There's some kick in that
Wait, hang on. That's a lingerer.
too. That's hot. Whoa. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more.
One more
I should
bite.
have picked
Let's go,
it.
Sasa.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
While you bite into that, tell us a little bit more about this one. It's that family photo.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
What year was that?
Last Christmas?
This trying to usually
Maybe. Two
smile like-
Christmases. No. Oh, man. It's always theatrics when we're trying to take a photo.
Right.
That's why, like, I always post those, you know? It's like, it's the real shit.
Yeah.
Or it's like a sequence of
There's no staging.
there is, yeah, no, you cannot
The raw.
man, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. I don't have the patience. I commend parents who can.
Yeah.
There it is.
Had to come out.
Yeah,
Especially when it's just, you know,
it's right there.
swishing in there.
No, that's good.
That's good.
This is really good.
Yep.
Is it 6 for 6? Oh my
Fresh too.
stomach.
This was just made the other day.
Ooh,
Big time. Right here. How about this one right here, Sarah?
that was a great one.
Yeah. Like you said, it's just all
Real.
You know, no staged. You know, no like, hey, your hair is.
No, I love real raw people who know me. All my friends know that, like, the power going out before a show. That's so classic of me. Like, just like nothing goes as planned, or things are messy, or I trip and fall on my face. It's just for whatever reason. That's it's called Sasa moments.
Right.
So whenever Frank does capture those moments, I don't shy away from it. I like, yes,
Yes.
this is it. This is me. That's
Authentic,
me.
right?
Authentic, yeah.
Who's in the belly there?
Catalina.
All right, on.
Yeah, she
we
was
said that.
she's my water girl.
Right on, Sarah. We made it to the last wing of the evening, man.
All right.
This is it again.
Still standing.
The lava, strictly for our show. This is the Ultra Supremium hot sauce.
Mr. Lava Lava.
Mr. Lava. Ooh, yep.
Okay, because this is my last wing out. Because Frank's giving me shit over there, I'll eat the whole thing.
Eat the whole thing? Oh. Ooh. There we go.
It's the wrong one.
Because he didn't, right? That's the wrong one. How could you say that in the first
I
week?
think I'm shit.
There we go. I'll do it with you.
Okay. So. Huh? Okay,
She did it.
not scared.
Man, Sarah. So, before we go, tell us an origin story about how you and Crank met, down to the day, year, even what time it was.
It was 2009, and at that time, I was working at Marc Jacobs in Tumon.
Okay. Okay, we got the year, and we got where.
Why
day.
is that it's a delay? Okay, it's taking too long. Okay, hang on.
So he was shopping at Marc Jacobs? No?
It was the grand opening for Marc by Marc Jacobs, okay?
Okay.
So I was at Marc Jacobs. This is not flowing right. So my best friend at the time, we worked together, and she was talking about this trip she went on in Japan, jiu-jitsu, and she met this guy. His name was Frank, and he was lost, and he didn't speak Japanese, but she spoke Japanese. And he was decked out in buckeye, and she's like, "Hey, you look lost." And she was telling me this story about how she met Frank the Crank, and he was a great guy. And we were at Marc Jacobs. And then we were coming down from the escalator, And at the end of her story, she says, "Oh my God, Frank." And Frank was standing right there at the bottom of the escalator, right after she told me that story.
That's crazy.
Fate.
Wow.
And so,
Or did he plan it with her? No. I didn't think
or
so.
did you? And so, that was December 4th, 2009, the day that it chose us. And so it was the grand opening for Mark by Marc Jacobs, and I was modeling that night for the grand opening. So I got all dolled up, you know, it looked so hot, whatever. And then we went to venue. The girls are like, "Yeah, Sarah, let's go venue." And I'm like, "Yeah." 2009 venue was the spot.
Right on.
And so I walk in, you know, with the crew and, you know, and the girls at the table, and I see this guy with his beer standing by himself next to the bar. I'm like,
Looked lost.
"It's lost, yeah, lost and scared." And then I was like, you know,
Lost and scared.
Lost and
So,
scared.
you know, assassinator comes.
yeah, so I'm like, "Man, there's that guy." And I can't remember his name. It's okay. So then I go up to him, I'm like, "Hey, I met you earlier. Remember?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "Sam," right? He says Sam to me, and I'm like, "Sarah, it's okay. I'm really bad with names too." He's like, "Yeah, I bet you don't remember my name." And I'm like, "Shit." Like, he totally called me out. And so I'm like, "It begins with a J." And then, of course, like, we're talking, and he's like, you know, he didn't say anything. He was like, "Yeah, la, la, la." And then, you know, these guys like, "Hey, Frank, hey, man," you know. And I'm like, "Oh, shit, dude, I'm so off," you know. At least he got Sam, and I
Right.
said Jay, whatever. But that was like our first like conversation at venue. So venue's like kind of like a special spot to us, because that's where we like really connected. And then we became friends at that point. He went off to Maryland because he was like pursuing this dream, and I was going to school. And then we just maintained this friendship of communicating, like solid communication and bond. And then he came back a whole year later on December 4th. And that's when
Same day.
we assassinated him. A whole year later. Anyway.
That is awesome.
The day that chose us, you know. But
December
anyway,
4, yeah.
December 4th. It's a magical day, and so meeting Frank is just like the best, one of the best days of my life.
That's awesome,
Changed
man.
me.
That's cool.
I love you,
Oh, yeah. one of them. Right on, man. Well, Sarah, thank you so much, man. Good freaking job. We did it. And you were kind of nervous in the beginning, and now look at you. You can do another 10 more, it looks like.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, there was moments in there where I was like, wow, I have 5 more to go. But they were all delicious. They were all amazing. I'm so glad I did it with you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, for sure, man. Before you do go, though, let everybody know out there, like, what's going on with Sarah, what's coming up, you know, where they can follow you and, you know, support the Hutsa Kids movement and all your filming.
Oh, yeah.
You said you have another one coming out too, right? So
you can follow my social media, sarah.filush.camacho, or even follow Hutsa Kids, HATSA Kids, on Instagram and Facebook. And please just follow the journey of these kids and building these huts and learning a whole bunch of really cool things with Gualu. And you can just follow me in my journey. After this program, I have big ambitions. I want to continue on. Maybe you'll see me playing football. Who knows?
There you go.
I just want to continue doing things that I love with the people I love. So
100%.
thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
so
me.
much. Right on. Well, on behalf of our team here at That's Hot Par, our producer, Rob Bellahaja,
Thanks,
our main
Rob.
editor, Mike Bloss, About It Productions, myself, Roki Alcantara. Just want to say thank you, Sarah. Thank you for blessing us and opening up the season with us.
Yes.
And, you know, just being a big sport, a good sport, and, yeah, handling the heat seat like a champ. Right on. You ready?
Yeah.
That's
Hot Par.